Welcome to Village Talk Podcast with hosts Cortland Jones and Shauna Felton King. Village Talk highlights the views and voices of the community. And now your hosts, Cortland Jones and Shauna Felton King.
Welcome to Village Talk, where we highlight the views and the voices of the community. I am Shauna King, and I am your host, and I am here along with my co-host, Cortland Jones. Hey, Cortland, how you doing today?
Hey, Shauna, how are you? Good to see you.
It's exciting to be here. And this time, last week was our first show, and we had some amazing dialogue last time
Yes,
when we were
did.
here. Yeah, and so I'm just super excited that it's not just us today. We got some guests with us. We got a guest with us, real special. You want to tell us about that?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, thank you and welcome again to Village Talk. My name is Cortland Jones. Today we are having a nice conversation in the educator's journey. Robin Pope Brown graduated from Bowie State University with a master's degree in education and earned her admin certification from Trinity University, Washington, D.C. Robin began her career in education in 1994 as a substitute teacher. She's held various positions in the school system, which include media aide, science teacher, assistant principal, and now principal. Robin was born and raised in Washington, D.C., and Prince George's County, Maryland. She is a proud graduate of Potomac High School. Robin is fortunate to have seen several sides of education as a student, a parent, and as an employee. Robin leads with compassion and accountability, displaying a strong commitment to improve instructional practices and in collaborating with all community stakeholders. Robin has 2 adult children and lives in Prince George's County, Maryland, with her husband, Norman Brown. So at this time, let's welcome Robin Pope Brown to Village Talk.
Whoa, hey.
Hello. How are you all?
Robin, first of all, when I looked at that and as Cortland read your bio, I was like, what have you not done? What in the school system have you not done? Have you done every single position that's there?
I feel like that. I feel like I've done every position. And as a principal, I now do custodial work. So
Heard that. You probably serve a couple meals in that cafeteria too, don't you?
Well, as a friend and colleague over 20 years, I just want to say how much I appreciate you being willing to come on our show, and thank you. I know you and I share this unique relationship as you went on a field trip with me with my students when I was still teaching art when we went to Georgetown. So it means a lot to me after so many years to have you on our show today. So again, welcome and thank you for joining us.
thank you for having me.
Well, in light of our topic today, an educator's journey, I'd like to start with, we read your bio and we understand you began as a substitute teacher, but talk to us a little bit about what led to this desire to become an educator.
Many years ago, I used to work for the federal government, and there was a layoff. And I was laid off of my job, or RIF, as they used to call it in the federal government. And I performed all types of temp positions in DC, and just wasn't feeling it. And a friend of mine suggested that I try substitute teaching. And once I did that, I fell in love with education.
Now, Robin, I'm going to stop you right there, because as someone who started as a substitute teacher myself, were they being funny when they said, would you try substitute teaching?
Well, you know what, Shauna, the real funny part is that my friends who really knew me and my family, once they heard that, they were very much in shock. I can't believe that you want to work with kids.
Because because this work is not for everybody. You know that.
Exactly. So I really think that my family and close friends felt that, yeah, she's not going to do that long, maybe 1 or 2 days. and it'll be over. But it really, really sank deep down in my heart.
Yeah. And I think, it's all of us know, Cortland knows as well, all of us as educators, there's something on the inside where you gotta love kids. You just enjoy their energy, even when they can sometimes stress you out.
Oh my
There's
goodness.
something, yes, there's something about people who want to work with children and see them be their best. And you either connect or you walk right out the door. And so as we can, we can see from your resume, you didn't walk out the door. So what made you stay? Tell us about, kind of when you first got started. How was it?
As subbing, how
Yeah.
was that? Well, as a substitute teacher, my first day, it's funny. I can really remember my first day of substitute teaching. And it was actually in a high school. It was very scary. I was terrified. I was absolutely terrified. But because I grew up in Southeast DC and, I was an adult and, I had to put on this face like I wasn't really scared.
Uh-huh.
And I went in and that was back in the day when teachers actually left lesson plans for the subs. And and I, followed the lesson plans. The students were great, and a few that weren't, I was actually able to talk to them and have them settle down. And then from there, I started accepting different assignments. Elementary school was not my favorite.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I wasn't used to the elementary school student in group form in a class.
So maybe one at a time, huh? But
exactly. And I did middle school, which actually was my favorite at the time, middle school, and then I tried to make sure that I took middle school assignments.
Gotcha. Yeah, and Cortland and I too. That's middle school seems to be our love there. But I think if you ask most people who work with children, even though they may say I enjoy kids, they can tell you, I like the little ones, I like the kindergartners,
right?
Or I like the high school. You very rarely can find yourself an 11th grade teacher who says, I want to go teach first grade.
Oh yes,
or vice versa. It's just we find where is that area that we fit best.
Right.
What's also interesting, we all started as substitute teachers because I started as a substitute teacher as well. And listening to you talk about your story, I am reminded the day before I started subbing, I went to see Kindergarten Cop.
Okay, you're dating yourself, Mr. Jones. You're dating yourself.
I was like, do I really want to do this after seeing that movie? But obviously, 30 years later, nothing has changed as far as the motivation, but I am interested to know if Robin has any first year stories to tell, anything significant that you remember as a first year teacher when you actually started teaching that stood out that first year.
What really stood out for me during my first year was the actual behavior of the students. They were awesome, just sitting there, at their desk and just waiting. It was a really good feeling. It's very different than when you come in. It was very different than when you came in as a sub. You kind of had to get order. Mm-hmm. But I was surprised on that first day that the students, and again, that was a very long time ago, that the students just were so calm and very accepting.
But you probably, and I've known you for a long time, you probably had a certain demeanor to you that, that this is what you were here to do. You weren't just taking up space. There was going, if Miss Pope Brown was my substitute, I would have known, okay, she means business. So I don't doubt that they picked that up that day.
Oh yeah.
So what about when you moved when you moved on? Tell us a little bit, because, your career spans, and a little bit more when you became a full-time teacher, and then you still kind of keep continuing to shift. Tell us a little bit about that journey.
So, as a full-time teacher, I had the opportunity to serve in various roles at while I was a teacher. So, team leader, principal's council. I was a sponsor for a peer group and other various leadership positions, but it gave me an opportunity to see what I can do in a leader as an educator.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of sparked that leadership drive in me. I worked as a teacher in a middle school for about 4 years until I really said, okay, I'm going to, apply to be an assistant principal. Yeah.
Because we know it's different when you sit in the role of teacher and then when you decide to be an administrator. It's a different role.
Oh my goodness. It's
is that putting it mildly?
It is. It's putting it mildly, but I know, and I don't know whether these programs are around now, but there were programs around where a person could be a principal without being in the classroom, without being a classroom teacher. I don't remember the name of the program, but I think that being in the classroom as a classroom teacher is the best thing as a principal, because you know both sides, and it just afforded me the opportunity to be able to really and truly dialogue and hear and understand teachers' concerns, because I've been there. I was there. So that was very, very helpful. It was also a little, I don't know, when you have to go and talk to a teacher as an administrator and they're not very receptive, that is a little frustrating. So that, you understand what they're saying and you kind of agree with actually what they're saying, but the administrator in you is saying, I understand, but I am still going to have to hold you accountable for different things. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was really something.
So we have been having an opportunity to talk with a longtime friend and colleague, and we are talking with Robin Pope Brown, Shauna King, and I here at Village Talk. And we want to thank everybody so far for joining in. It's been great to listen to you, Robin, talk about your journey as an educator. When we return, we're going to shift the conversation. We want to find out what motivated her to leave the classroom, become a leader in the school community as an administrator, and then talk about how we can also address the issues that are current as it relates to racism, equity in the reality of education. So stay tuned, everybody, and we look forward to joining you again on the other side of the break. This is Village Talk, where we highlight views and voices of the community.
Feature your business with a full or half-page ad in an upcoming issue of Vision and Purpose Lifestyle Magazine. Advertise your business, book, or event and reach potential clients. Vision and Purpose Lifestyle Magazine covers and features stories in business and entrepreneurship, education, performing arts, sports, community outreach, fashion, travel and real estate, health and wellness, and more. Contact us at info@vnpmagazine.com, or you can reach out to our Director of Sales, Ms. Karen McConnell-Jones, at 202-904-1000. Vision and Purpose, inspiring our community.
And welcome back from our break, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. This is Village Talk, where we highlight the views and voices of our community. Shauna King, co-host with myself, Cortland Jones, and our special guest today, Robin Pope Brown, An Educator's Journey. So on the first side of the break, Robin, we had the privilege of talking to you about your journey as an educator, what led you into the field of education. We want to